Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You guys are listening to the Ramadan special on EAVA FM 102.5 FM. Please text the line during the show. It's on 07450 925 084 and go to www.ramadan.fm to catch the Facebook Live. So we are Waves of Positivity, and alhamdulillah, we are so grateful for this opportunity by Brother Jusab and the guys at EAVA FM for allowing us to have our own opportunity to have a show. So just want to give you guys a brief rundown of why we started Waves of Positivity. Brother Studio's over here. He can't wait to do his own intro.
Yeah, I've been preparing my vocal cords for this intro the entire day.
You don't need to do the intro, bro. Okay, so obviously getting down into the nitty gritty with Waves of Positivity. We are targeting the millennials. And what we're looking to do with Waves of Positivity is to allow people to have a platform to listen to all the different genres or different topics we cover to inshallah find their own way out of basically coming out and finding themselves in this day and age, because it is quite tough. So yeah, with myself, Adil, we got Brother Sully, we call him Sully A and Sully P, Sully Parali. We are looking to spark something in their life to actually work on themselves.
Definitely.
Our own personal journey will probably be, for me, it's all about basically making a change. So I've only got my own motto, you guys know that, is I want to change 1 billion lives. And the way I feel like I can do that is through Waves of Positivity. We are affecting so many lives. We've had so many positive messages.
Alhamdulillah, yeah.
And with radio.fm, we're available to get out to a wider audience. Sully, what would you like to share about yourself?
All right, so I'm 21 years old and I spend my life doing as much as I can. So I'm a student, I'm a PT, I'm an online coach, I do networking events, and
Yes.
obviously I volunteer for Islamic Relief, and I spend a lot of time with you guys doing Waves of Positivity. And similar to you, my whole goal, my whole life revolves around changing people's lives, trying to have some kind of positive impact on every single person I come across, no matter how small that may be. So for example, even if I'm smiling at someone, you know, it's a sunnah, and it's something that someone reacts instantly. You've made an impact on that person's day, essentially. You've made an impact on their life. So that's basically what I aim to do every single day of my life, every second of my life, really.
MashaAllah.
That's really good.
Go on.
My name is Suleiman, also known as Sully, the younger Sully. 20 years old. I'm just another young business owner in the web design industry, alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah.
I tend to spend most of my time traveling and taking part in charitable causes. And my future ambitions are to, inshallah, build businesses of the future and to also, reduce the rates of poverty and to also, help people around me and make them understand that their life is worth living. Do you know what I mean? Like, we need to always sort of inspire other people to always be positive throughout their life. So realistically, my focus on Waves of Positivity in itself is the genre of removing the negative thoughts and negative attitudes within yourself. In that aspect, what it is that if you want to be positive, you have to remove the bad habits out of your life. So what Waves of Positivity does is we focus on 5 aspects on personal development. That's mental, spiritual, emotional, social, and physical. And that's our go about. So alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. He's going to help me change 1 billion lives as well. So are you, Sully. Inshallah. So let's get down to the topic. But before we do that, apparently we've got a nice story to share with the listeners about how Waves of Positivity got started.
Yeah.
I think Sully P is going to get that started.
Okay, so just a normal evening, scrolling through social media, came across Adil's Instagram story where he's talking about positivity, and I said, Adil, let's sit together and let's talk about positivity. Let's make a podcast about it. Later on that evening, he replied to me saying, the other Sully, SA. And I was like, yeah, I know him. I went Madrasa with him.
The better Sully.
So I was like, yeah, let's get a meeting. Sully, you might want to continue this.
All right, yeah. So these guys are like meeting, yeah? So I'm like, yo, I'm meeting. I was gassed. So I'm there getting ready and I turn up to the location, yeah? So I'm ready for a meeting, yeah, a business meeting, ready for something big. So I'm there with my suit, my trousers, my shoes, everything. And I walk in and I see Adil and Sully sat there with tracksuits. And I was like, what is this? Come on.
Just to let you guys know, you're listening to Ramadan FM and it's EAVA FM and 102.5 FM. Please check out Ramadan, Radio Ramadan on Facebook for the Facebook Live. Okay, so
Let's head into the topic.
let's get into the topic. I think people are looking to get into the nitty gritty with everything. So we're talking about gratitude, and I feel like a lot of people, they know how to be grateful, but they also do not understand what gratitude in its whole subject encompasses. So I believe the world we have been brought up in has allowed us to adapt and change with experiences, pain, and decisions made by others. So our parents, they decide how grateful we become, but how they treat us. So if your parents spoiled you growing up, you're always going to do things. If they spoil you, someone's actually going to be more ungrateful because they've always had everything on a plate. So they won't understand when someone does something for them out of the kindness of the heart. They won't realize that. They feel like they're entitled to it. But if your parents did not do that, and you have to find your own way in life, you'd be a bit more grateful for what people do for you, because you yourself know how tough it is. And when you do things for others, they're more grateful, etc. So it does have a massive effect. And that is having an effect on our society in general. Because a lot of people have had, I know myself, alhamdulillah, my parents have given me everything. And I'm sure we all know that as well. But due to a certain age, with them letting us kind of grow up and finding our own feet, just because they want us to make a woman out of us, make a man out of us.
I don't know about you, bro.
So yeah, it has an effect on you growing up. So if you're someone who's always independent, doing things for yourself, you are going to be a bit more grateful for when someone else lightens your workload. For example, we had the event, and brother Sully A came over, and Sully P as well, to help me set up the event. I was very grateful because I was there trying to load tables out, and you guys were like, "Oh, let me help you. Let me lighten your load for you." So I was super grateful, alhamdulillah.
So what you're saying is like we need to be grateful for having a good crowd. Like our peers define us as individuals as well. So for example, when your peers tell you that you're doing something wrong, like they are good peers for doing that.
Yeah.
And when they don't sugarcoat things, when they're telling you straight to your face, this is what you're doing, it's wrong. We need to be grateful for them kind of friends. And as you're mentioning as well, siblings and family, we need to be grateful for our parents for bringing us up and, teaching us how to be the best version of ourselves.
I feel like I feel sorry for people who have their parents constantly do something for you. So any parents listening, allow your child to grow up and to find their own feet, because it will have a massive effect on who they are as a person, especially when they engage with other people.
Just quickly on that, because I completely agree with you saying, because I believe that the only two real ways someone can attain gratitude is either if you've worked for something, so you know the graft, the effort and time that's been put behind that, or when you lose something, when you lose someone, something dear to you, then you realize how the importance of that object, that person was in your life. That's the two ways you can appreciate and fully be grateful for something.
100%, man. Shout out to all the mothers and fathers out there, man. This is for you guys. Okay, so as crazy as it sounds, human beings love being grateful. So we love it when someone is grateful for having us in our lives, and that's why we all love to. And let's be honest, when we do charity work, we do something out of the kindness of our heart, at the same time we're doing it for ourselves. That's something I always believe, because we feel needed and we feel grateful. And well, I know this, fathers, they love being needed, which is why your father or your mother will find it hard for you to go away later on when you move out and you find your own TV.
Yo, Adil, are you a father? Yeah.
I hope not. So people have truly forgotten how to appreciate their peers and the kind actions that people do for them. So we're seeing less people being kind and less people being grateful, and it is a sad truth.
100%, yeah.
I can see it happening whenever people are growing up, and say for example, if you don't have WAP here and you made a website for me, even though I pay you for the services, would you still not appreciate a thank you and something grateful?
Yeah, of course I would.
And if you train someone and they pay you for it, of course, in the modern society, they don't feel like they have to give you a thank you because they're giving you money. Yeah. But would you not like if someone said thank you for putting all the time and effort into helping them craft the body they're looking to craft?
Yeah, of course. Because at the end of the day, you're providing a service that's improved their life. So although I may not expect a thank you, because at the end of this business or it's work or employment, it is nice to have that. Like you said, it makes me feel wanted. It makes me feel needed. It makes me feel valued.
Alhamdulillah, man. But I was going to let you guys know a little thing. So I recently had a conversation with a friend, and they said, if more people said please and thank you with intent, and they meant it, we would have a happier world. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, 100%. I do agree with that.
I do, yeah, 100%. I agree.
Do you think people will be more grateful, hearing more please and thank yous?
Yeah.
Do you think there'd be more kind actions, and people would go out their way to help an old lady cross the road, or to help someone lift shopping into their boots?
Of course, we'd
Things
show
like
more
that, yeah.
appreciation, basically, yeah.
Inshallah. Sully, tell me some ways people can be more grateful.
All right, okay. Actually, before we go into that, I want to save that for the end of the show, so then we can have viewers come into that.
Okay.
I want to go into more about the whole reason we're here today, to talk about the power of gratitude and how it can massively impact our lives for the better. So, for those of you that follow me on social media, you must have seen my last post before Ramadan, where I mentioned the 3 key steps to being happy: acceptance, appreciation, and action. So that second step, in order for you to be happy, you gotta basically be appreciative and grateful.
Being grateful, go check out Ramadan special EAVA FM and go to www.ramadan.fm. Text the line for any questions on 07450925084 and go follow them on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, Ramadan FM, inshallah.
Right, so going back to that point is, you know, if you don't have gratitude and appreciation in your life, you're going to have this emptiness inside you at all times, this void. And, you know, if you're not feeling one thing, you're probably going to be feeling the opposite of it. So if you're not grateful, you're just going to be constantly complaining, and you're going to be filled with sadness, because you're always going to be expecting something. You're going to be expecting the world to give you something, like the world owes you something. The world doesn't owe anyone anything. You got to work for everything in this life. You're not going to get anything without that hard work put in.
Of course.
100%. So what you're saying is people being ungrateful will lead them to complain all the time. So if you know someone's always constantly complaining, do you feel like they need a bit more gratitude in their life?
Yeah, unfortunately, in our society, in today's day and age, we have people complaining constantly. And you know how annoying it is when someone's complaining about something. Instead of complaining, why not, you know, go out and do something about it? And if you can't do something about that issue, adapt to it, work around it. You know, there's no point complaining about the weather. You can't change the weather, yeah? You have to work around it. A lot of people are complaining about the weather, and it really annoys me. You can't change it, just work around it.
In Canada, they when the snow comes, what they do is they have to shovel their front doors, with all the snow, and they have to put chains around their tires and still go to work.
Exactly. So
we
should be grateful. You know, we should be grateful we're not having that kind of snow. And when we do have snow or rain, we should be grateful we're having rain. There's places in the world that don't have rain and they're in droughts. So even though that we may see something in a bad way, it's still something. There's still some way to be appreciative of that. It's just our perspective, the way we look at things.
So do you think a lot of our generation, the millennials, feel like they're owed something because they're living in the toughest generation to earn a living, rather than working hard? So do you think being grateful would definitely help, but what do they have to be grateful for in this generation? So ourselves, we live in the toughest climate to find a job, earn a living, and even the living we're earning isn't going to be enough because of all the political changes constantly happening. What do people have to be grateful for?
I mean, like I was saying earlier, like I think that every single human being that is alive, that is sane, that is breathing, has something to be grateful for. So I know you guys know that I love my analogies. I love putting things into perspective and bringing it down to reality. So I was discussing this point earlier. Like, let's say, for example, there's a guy or a person, he's just got the latest shoes, the latest Yeezys or Air Jordans or whatever it may be, and he's thinking, oh, damn, I got these shoes, but I wish I had these, I don't know, gold-plated or these shoes with diamonds in it, self-lacing shoes and that. Yeah. But he doesn't. There's a guy behind him looking at him saying, "Oh, I wish I had them shoes. I had the money to get that shoes." And he's just wearing some standard Nikes. And he's not looking at the guy behind him who's wearing slippers. He can't afford them kind of shoes. And he's thinking, "I wish I had them Nikes." And there's a guy behind him without shoes thinking, I wish I had them slippers." Imagine if every single person in that line turned around and looked back to see, "Oh, look, that guy has got something. and he wishes he has what I have, basically.
Yeah.
So imagine everyone just turns around, looks at the people behind them that that are less fortunate than them. How much of a change will people have with their perspective? They'll become more kind, more compassionate to each other.
It's a common saying in the Muslim community that, you know, you shouldn't focus on the people who are more beautiful than you and more than you. Rather, you should focus on the people who have less, and that way you won't feel like you're in competition with anyone.
So I think when we made our first WAP video, we actually had this same subject. I think what we said is, whenever you're going through a tough time in your life and your business is not going the way you planned it to, or your recent investment didn't go the way you planned it to, you always look below, find inspiration, and carry on working again.
Yeah.
Because everything below you shows you where you can fall to if you don't work hard to earn more. But at the same time, you got to be grateful for what you already have in order to make the progress you want to make in your life.
If you're not grateful for what you have right now, you're going to be stuck in that position for the rest of your life until you appreciate what you have. Only then will your mindset be put into that right place for you to advance, to move forward in life. Because then you'll be like, all right, I've got this, alhamdulillah, I've got this, let me try work for more. And every time you take a step forward, you'll be like, alhamdulillah, I've done this, and you take another step forward. And if you fall back, you'll still have that, you know, that ethos, that rationale, that, you know, at least I have what I have, and I have something to go from.
Okay. I just want to, before we move on to the Islamic point of view.
Okay, so basically, like how SA was talking about, you know, always showing gratitude throughout the day. Islamically, we're taught that the first thing we should do when we wake up is the dua. Alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana ba'dama amatna wa ilayhi nushur. And the definition to that is all praise to Allah who has given us life after He had given us death, and to Him is the resurrection. Now, if we implement that into our lives, throughout the day, we're going to be grateful for everything. Yeah. And then before we go to sleep, we're going to show gratitude as well towards Allah and to people around us. So that's probably one of the best ways to sort of implement it into our lives.
I mean, yeah, as Muslims, we're told, or we're taught by our parents, by our religion, by the Prophet, to constantly use these kind of words, saying Alhamdulillah. I mean, you say it after you eat, you drink, even after bad things happen, such as sneezing or bad calamities fall upon you. And that's where I think the word Alhamdulillah is actually a gift to us Muslims, because it's something that we should use even when we're in bad times. So if something bad happens, you explain your bad situation, but at the end of it you say, but Alhamdulillah, I'm fine. Yeah. The word Alhamdulillah, basically, for me personally, it gives me hope. When I'm in a place of darkness and I have the ability to say Alhamdulillah, which we all should have, it's like, you know, it gives me something to put my foot in on. It gives me hope that at least I've got my religion, at least I'm breathing, at least I have another opportunity, another second, another moment to become better, to better myself and to better my situation. So
I don't know if you guys have ever lost anything, but whenever you lose something, you always say Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi rajiun, and that is what Islam teaches you. Whenever anything happens to you, first turn to Allah, and Allah will give you the answer. And I feel like if more people understood that what they go through in their life, they have no control over other than the Almighty. Of course. I think you can be a bit more grateful with what's going on around you. Alright, so we're part of Islamic Relief when we're doing any work. We've always had this thing where we say, I've not come forward to help other people. I'm earning from this in the hereafter. So everything I'm doing is not for me, it's for my hereafter. It's not exactly. So like say we're going for a charity walk, or we're going to do Tough Mudder, anything like that. What we're doing it for, we're not doing it for other people, we're not doing it for the less fortunate, we're doing it for us. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can give us more in this life. Because when you give, you never find someone becoming poor from giving, right?
In fact, there's a saying that Mufti Menk said. He said, fortunate is he who has everything in this world and remains as humble as ever, knowing that one day they're going to leave it behind. And I think we really need to live upon this quote, because at the end of the day, rizq and income is from Allah at the end of the day. And we need to appreciate the possessions and luxuries that we have in this world. Because at the end of the day, this world is only temporary, and we need to make sure that we have a good time, we have good vibes, and we're showing gratefulness to everything that we have.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, it also says in the Quran also that Allah gives to those people who are grateful. And He also says that there are only few of His servants who are actually grateful. So if you are able to change your mindset and be appreciative and gratefulness, you know you are in that minority, you're in that special category of Allah.
That's amazing.
Inshallah. May Allah grant us all the opportunity to be there.
Um,
Just to remind everyone to please check out Ramadan.fm on Facebook to come onto the live and let your friends and families know. Message them, send out a Facebook or WhatsApp broadcast and let everyone know to come and visit this page. And it's a Ramadan special with EAVA FM with the WAP show. And please do text through and to the Ramadan special number, please. And check out Ramadan special on EAVA FM. The text line is 07450 925084. We would appreciate some text messages from yourselves to inshallah come on. So we can let the two studies answer some amazing questions.
Please do text in. Afterwards, if you want to call in, call in. We'll give that number when we come back after the break.
Yeah.
And if you come back, I will do my intro.
You can also DM us on Waves of Positivity Official on Instagram if you don't have Facebook.
And what about on Facebook?
Waves of Positivity.
Waves of Positivity. We're always trying to make some waves.
Of course.
Okay, so Sully P, I understand that you've got another outlook for us to look at.
Yeah, that's the causes for ungratefulness and why we as humans are ungrateful. Now, the first thing I start to look at is jealousy. Now, when it comes to jealousy, we look around us all the time, constantly competing with others and being envious about what others have instead of focusing on ourselves and accepting what we have and who we are. And then from jealousy, it leads on to competition, because at the end of the day, we're not looking at ourselves, we're looking at other people. You know, who has the latest iPhone, who's rocking the most expensive designer brands. And at the end of the day, it just shows an appreciation about everything that we have. And, you know, what we can learn from this is the fact that, you know, competing with people ahead of you, you won't get anywhere. You have to just show appreciation for the people that don't have as much as you do. And at the end of the day, many people out there would wish to have the things that you have. And in some scenarios, some people wish to be you. So always show gratitude for what you have.
I think that links to what we said about earlier, looking at people behind you. So I think you should be inspired by the people who have less than you or are less fortunate than you. But at the same time, you should aspire to be like the people who are ahead of you in life, or aspire to reach the goals or heights that they've reached.
I think we've all got that, because I know myself, I always aspire to be bigger and better than I am. And I feel that's just my hunger from wanting more so I can do more. So a lot of people I've recently spoken to would like to have a lot of wealth, accumulate a lot of wealth, but go to poor countries to help out those less fortunate. Yeah. So there's nothing wrong with aspiring, but it's when you start to compete beyond your means. So when you start actually purchasing things that you can't afford. For example, do you know that quote that we always live by? Don't buy something unless you can buy it 5 times over.
Yeah.
People are buying it when they can only buy it 1 time over. That's leaving them with less. Making it more difficult for them to pay bills, buy simple necessities you need for your life, therefore impacting your health, so you're being less grateful. Even though you have so much, because you've not spent it in the correct manner trying to compete with others, you're now left with less to take care of yourself, where you start to feel ungrateful for not having enough money when you actually do have enough money.
Yeah, of course. What about social media though? Let's put reality to the side. Social media has created a whole new level of competition now. Like realistically, when you're scrolling through your newsfeed and you see someone posting a picture of the brand new car, instead of us guys saying, you know, mashallah or Allahumma barik, we're getting jealous and we're competing with them, and we start to feel ungrateful about, oh, I don't like my car anymore, it's not brand new anymore, or why do I have to go on the bus stop and catch a bus? And these are the things that we need to sort of avoid at the end of the day, because social media, we've always said this in all of our videos, but it's not real, it's virtual life. It's just a facade of what's happening in reality. So we need to, once social media is turned off, once your phone's locked, you're living in the real world, and that's where you're living, not on social media.
I mean, do you guys know the terminology catfish?
Yeah.
No, what's that, bro?
But it's a catfish lifestyle. People are claiming to be someone they no longer are, like using Snapchat filters.
Whether it's good or bad.
And using someone else's car, take a picture in someone else's car, using hired cars, and posting on social media, acting as if it's their own. And then other people are getting jealous over something that's not even real. Like if you see most of us in real life, I would say we're not always looking our best for people to wanting people to bump into us. Yeah.
I'm always looking top.
Mashallah.
He's not catfish, isn't it? Mashallah. But Yeah, like if someone comes into, I work in the Samsung store, and someone comes into the Samsung store and they see me, they'll be like, "Who's this guy?" They won't recognize me. And I say that social media should be taken with a pinch of salt. It's not real. So having to aspire to be like your friend who's probably stunting in a car that's not his, rather we should aspire to be like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Aspire to be like our teachers who have taught us how to be the people we are. I actually had a very, very close teacher of mine who actually taught me, who was in an accident, and only when I found out he was in an accident did it really hit me that how much this teacher of mine meant to me. And it's where that
it goes back to that point where you've kind of lost him, or you felt that loss where you appreciated him, that gratitude hit you.
Yeah, and it's where you realize that I had so much, I thought I had so little.
Exactly.
When you've got education, when you've got Iman, and when you've got people around you who love you, I feel like we have what we need, but it's our work rate that affects the wealth that we have, which is what we're chasing so much. We're not chasing the good stuff.
And that's why we become so selfish. And then when it comes to being selfish, there's two aspects that I look into. There's the first aspect where you don't want to see people around you doing well. You don't want others to succeed. You don't want others to earn more than you. You want to be the only person that succeeds out of everyone around you. And then the second aspect is where everyone's guilty for that, is when you do want people to succeed, but you don't want anyone to be better than you. You want to be the best at everything, the best car, the best income, and you're building your own hierarchy there. And what we should do is replace that with supporting each other and actually making someone go onto your level or beyond your level, inshallah. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says that none of you are truly believers until what you wish for your brother is what you wish for yourself.
Yeah, that's something I think everyone should live by.
100%.
Honestly, it'll make your life so much more easier. You show people gratitude, they'll show you gratitude. It's as simple as that.
I feel like we've got a nice group here. I'm feeling very appreciative of my brother today. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. I think more people should come onto the Facebook Live, Ramadan.fm on Facebook, and you can check out what we are talking about. Catch waves of positivity on EAVA FM, the Ramadan special. Okay, I got a question for you, Brother Sully P.
Go ahead.
I'd like to know, why do people compete? Is it because they're living in a generation that only wants the best of everything, so everyone feels that they need to be the best out of everyone? Or I personally feel like there's a need to be more grateful for the work ethic of the people, because everyone wants to be the best. So I think that should be appreciated.
They want things that they don't need, and they want things that they don't want. They just want it there for status, and they want to prove to other people that they can get to that level, not for themselves but for other people. And they just want to sort of take up the whole market space of like, I want everything, you can't have anything. And it's obviously it comes down to gratitude at the end of the day. If you're unappreciative, you're always going to want more, and things that you don't even need, that will have no place in your life. So what we need to do is just show more appreciation and accept for what we have, and just say alhamdulillah for everything that we have.
But do you feel like if people use their work ethic in the right areas, they would achieve a lot more and feel a bit more grateful for all the skills they have?
If you're independent and you have a strong work ethic, you'd be able to get whatever you want, and that's where you will show appreciation to yourself. Because when you know how hard the graft is, how much you have to graft to get to a certain level, years after years, etc., then you will start to show appreciation that I've worked hard for this. Whereas if everything's been put on a golden plate for you, you're not going to show any appreciation because you don't know how hard the graft was in the first place.
SubhanAllah. And that was an amazing point given by Sully P with the WAP show, with a Ramadan special on EAVA FM 102.5 FM. And please do text the line 07450 925084 and let us know your thoughts on gratitude. What's your opinion on the points that have been mentioned so far? Have we hit the target or the mark with the points we mentioned, or is there something we're missing to say? Text through to us and let us know. Inshallah, we can help many other people who are listening in. And that's on the Ramadan special on EAVA 102.5 FM.
You can also get through to us on Instagram at Waves of Positivity Official and send us a direct message.
Inshallah. So when I've actually got a question, because you guys have mentioned some amazing points. Do you feel like gratitude is something that is overhyped, or do you feel like gratitude is something that is the main staple foundation for building success in every way? Could that be in Iman, relationships, friendships? Could it be with success on your own personal business? How do you think gratitude stems into each different area?
Well, to begin with, if you don't have gratitude for something, it shows instantly that you don't realize the value of something. And I'm going into the business aspect or the employment or the work aspect. If you don't know the value of something, you don't know the value of your assets, your employees, the things you own, your money, then how are you going to invest into it? How are you going to work with it? How are you going to use it to expand and grow and make your income, make your money? You see, gratefulness gives you an idea of how much things are worth. And it's not just monetary value, it's other things. So personal value and, I can't think of the word, but yeah, basically personal value. Some things, the monetary value comes from personal value as well. So like I'm saying, you need to have gratitude for every single thing that comes your way in this life in order for you to use it to its best possible outcome.
Okay, I got a question then. So for the current youth at the moment, so I'm sure most of you experience this growing up between the ages of 13 to 16, when your mom made you a special dish you love and you left the house to go eat with your friends.
Yeah.
My mom, if my mom's listening,
Sorry.
Many of us have done this. When your mom makes you your special dish. And I remember one Ramadan, there's a video of a kid leaving when his mom had made him his favourite dal chawal, biryani.
Akni.
Akni, ma'am akni, you know what I mean? But sweet rice. Now, many of us have done that. What would you say, going from that, having that experience, taught you with how much you've got to be grateful for your mother, for making your sweet dish when you want it? Do you feel like people should appreciate the effort put in behind family values?
I think showing gratitude is the bare minimum we should do. And I believe that we'd never be able to repay our parents for how much they've done for us.
I was just going to say,
we literally can't.
It is impossible to show our parents. It is impossible to pay them back. It's impossible to show them the gratitude that they deserve. And I know this better than anyone. I don't show my parents the gratitude that they deserve. I don't show them the appreciation that they deserve. I try to do what I can. But it's just so immense. The amount that they've done for me, what can I do? What can I possibly... If I give them every single penny I ever earn, every single asset I ever come into contact with, even that's not enough. That's not even enough to pay the 9 months that my mom kept me in her belly and the pain she endured for me to come into this world.
Never. Me personally, the reason I work so hard is so I can see my mother and father just retire or do things they enjoy. Spend time doing things. Because I know my dad does not enjoy waking up at 8:30 a.m. To go to work. And even though we probably do the same, at this age when we're so grown up, our parents should not still be doing that. And I feel like I'm missing something in my life to not have been able to let them retire already. But alhamdulillah, we've got to appreciate what they do and then carry on working hard, use them as that inspiration.
Exactly, and we've got to do the same with our kids, inshallah, in the future.
Inshallah.
Take on the good.
But let's move on to friendships. What have you guys got to say about being grateful for your friendship circle or your network, essentially? You know a lot about network with your networking events. What would you say? Let's start it off with you.
So I'll talk about friendships first, because a true friendship is something that I haven't experienced throughout my entirety of my life.
Until now.
I was going to say that, but I'm going to retract that statement now. But honestly, truly speaking, I've had friends, but I've never had friends that I called family, like a true group of friends that I called family until like the last year or so. So the fact that I haven't had it that long, I appreciate so much now.
Of course.
And you guys know that I would look out for my friends. I treat them as family. I look out for my friends as they're my blood. Yeah? And in terms of networking, I've got so much to say about that. We could go in a whole...
Let's go.
Give your best 3 points about networking.
Well, obviously your network is your net worth, as everyone knows. That's something that we promote religiously. And if you're able to build a network that's going to enhance you as a person, that's going to help you develop as a person, as a business, and education-wise, etc., then you've got so much more to be grateful for, because there's a lot of people out there who don't have a network to rely on when it comes to, like, for example, alhamdulillah, I've got networks into like the motor industry as well through my father and my friends as well. And I come across people and they come to me and they say, oh, I had my MOT done, or I had this done on the car, and then I'll be like, how much did you pay? And they tell me some crazy amount, and I'm just thinking, what? If you just asked me, you could use my network and I could have sorted you out. And then that's how you realize how grateful you are for your own network, because it's helping you in ways that you can't even realize.
Alhamdulillah. Just very quickly, after I mention it, you can actually listen to the radio through the Facebook Live link through the Ramadan.fm. So if you go onto Facebook through the website, through the web, not through the actual application, you'll be able to check the live on the radio.fm link, inshallah. I hope that does help with anyone that does want to listen to their mobile phone if they are traveling or out with friends and family and want their friends and families to look at it as well.
Definitely.
Actually mention that. So your network through helping your friends, through the links you found for your father, through your car industry. If anyone needs any links, contact Sunny. Mashallah, he's got a network. But do you feel like that network was developed through being grateful to each other, or do you feel like that network was grown through just business?
I think it's like a mutual thing, though. When you create a network, you're creating a connection, essentially. And so it's got to be a mutual thing. You got to show gratitude for that person's characteristic, that person's business, that person's ethos, for them to show that gratitude back to you.
So I believe whenever you have any business, and this for any business owners listening in, if you can agree, you can actually message us on our Facebook Live on Ramadan.fm, or you can actually text in and actually let us know your thoughts. Just because a text in on 07450 925
Say a bit slower. Let's say a bit slower.
07450 925 084. Please let us know, any business owners out there. Just because any business is built through a bond, and any bond is built through being grateful for each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Showing value for each other.
Showing value for each other, being appreciative. Because if I did a job for someone and they did not appreciate it, they didn't value my time and effort, I would feel a bit underwhelmed. Is the word I'm looking for.
Undervalued
and underwhelmed, just because when someone is not showing gratitude to you, they do not appreciate you. And that's how I've always learned things, just from working in different sectors, I think.
So if you realize someone's not appreciating you and they can't see your value, what do you tend to do?
I start to kind of pull back, not give my 100% efforts.
Distance yourself.
Okay.
As well.
Me personally, I don't expect people to be grateful for what I do, because like this is just me personally, how I've got through life. So if I do someone a favor, I don't even expect a thank you, because you know, for me, when I was expecting thank yous, when I was expecting people to praise me for helping them and stuff, and they didn't, if I felt kind of like a void, like they owed me a thank you, like they owed me some kind of praise, when technically speaking they didn't. I did it for my own benefit, for me to feel good. So as soon as I took this aspect away of expecting a thank you, expecting a praise, honestly, me personally, it just made my life a lot more easier, a lot more stress-free, because I'm not expecting anything back. And when you don't have expectations, you can't really be disappointed.
I find that very sad. Do you
a
agree?
lot of people.
I think Allah sees everything that you do good, so He'll reward you even now, in the future, and hereafter. So at the end of the day, if someone doesn't appreciate you, Allah's going to see the good things that you do in life, and He'll reward you in His own ways.
Do you feel like your intentions will be greyed, or that your area of intentions will be slightly blurred after people start to appreciate you less? Or do you feel like you found a way? And if you have, let us know.
Personally, I've been there before. Like, I've done things just for that praise from people, to have that recognition from people, to saying, oh, look, he's doing that something good. And I've been there where I've been addicted to that kind of attention, to that praise. And it was very toxic for me and my mindset. So that's why I've completely eradicated that expectation.
Okay. All right. So actually, moving on from this, I'd actually like to say, from an Islamic point of view, because after you mentioned it, I kind of wanted to find out, how essentially would you say that doing good deeds can benefit you in the akhirah so much? Like, what deeds would you actually advise people to start doing a bit more, just to earn some more good deeds?
Doing favors for people without expecting it in return. Taking time out and doing favors for people who are in need. Things
so
like
charity work?
Charity work, or even your friends. If your friend needs you and you do it for them, you take time out of work and you help them out in something, you're not gaining any money from it. At the end of the day, you have done them a favor, and you don't need to expect anything in return, because at the end of the day, they will show appreciation, and Allah sees the good work that you've done and the assistance that you've been of your friend.
Okay, what other ones do you think, Sully?
Again, for me, it's all about helping all those around me. That's what I do. That's what I live by. Just helping people in any way I can, and it makes me feel good, and it motivates me to go out and do more and help more people in whatever way I can.
Okay. I feel like the one we're personally missing is actually reminding our friends and families to go out of their way for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when you go to work, reminding someone to just pray Salah, or reminding someone if it's Jummah Salah, come through, brother, it's Jummah, would you like to come with me? That little reminder, in my opinion, is the best good deed you could do for someone. Doing a favour is good, but reminding your friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I think, is the best thing we can do. And no, they'll be grateful for the fact of having you. They might not appreciate the first time if they're slightly further away from Deen, but as time goes on, and I know this because I was reminded by Brother Sully P over here, when we used to film our Ways of Positivity videos. It was from his constant reminders that has made me appreciate this month of Ramadan and take it so seriously.
Appreciate that. And when I do advise to friends and family, I'm talking about myself as well. So when I preach to you, I also expect myself to act upon that as well. So I don't just expect you to listen to what I have to say. It's also to myself as well. So I'm not judging anyone and etc. Should we go on to talking about how we can be more grateful then?
Yeah, definitely. I think this is the part where we want viewers to definitely come on board, share their 2 pence with us, tell us how you guys look to be more grateful, work towards that level of gratitude that we so much require in our lives. Inshallah, share your opinions, give your ideas, we'll discuss it here. And if you do want to call in, you can call in. The number is 0116 212 9324. So please do call in that number. If you don't want to call in, you can text in on 07450 925 084. And if you're listening on the radio, please tune in to the Facebook page, Ramadan Special EAVA FM, to watch the live video. But you are listening to Ramadan Special on EAVA FM. So now going into that topic, how to be more grateful, what do you think? What's your advice on how to be more grateful?
I would personally tell people, in order to be more grateful in your life, you need to realize what you have around you. That is, taking your time out to maybe in the morning, think of 5 things you're grateful for. And that's something I always like to do in the morning. So parents, siblings, friends, being able to move, being able to eat. These are just basic things to be grateful for. And reminding yourself of these little favours can actually improve your mood. It is actually scientifically said that if you wake up in the morning and you're grateful and you mention more than 5 things, your whole day is planned out to be a lot more happier personally. And what else does everyone want other than to be happy?
Nothing. Happiness is key. All right, I think people need to be more open-minded in the sense of knowing what's happening around the world. That way you'd be more grateful for the things that you have in life. For example, third world countries where people don't have much to eat for Sahri and Iftar, they have bread and water, and we're here feasting away. Straight after the radio, we're going to go out and eat. We have access to a lot of food. People there, bread and water. If you're more open-minded, you realise what people have around the world. They have way less than we do, and we need to be grateful for that, and inshallah make a change, make a positive change, inshallah.
So we're going to go round one by one to actually mention our own little ways to do this. But I'd like to mention that if people were to thank each other, number one, people would say please and thank you, the very basics. If people were to do kind gestures after someone's done a kind gesture for them, that could also be a wave to actually allow more people to see good actions and be more grateful. So for example, you've now, reminded me when I've left my jacket at the gym. You tell Adil, for your jacket, I'm going to bring it over to your house for you. That's a kind action. Now, after you doing that, I go out and do a kind action for someone else. And more kind actions will happen. There's over 8 billion people in the world. 8 billion kind actions happening one after the other.
It'd help it be so much of a better world, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And this does not sound so simple.
Yeah, it's called making waves.
Yeah.
That's the whole point behind our what's the word, slogan, making waves.
Oh,
So you do an action of kindness or action of positivity, and it's gonna be what's the word, like when someone else does it straight after you.
Domino effect.
Yeah, like a domino
Yeah,
effect,
like a
yeah.
domino effect, and it's just gonna keep going and going and going. And on the same token, if you do something negative, it's gonna have the same effect. It's gonna have that domino effect. So it's up to you. Your actions isn't just affecting that person you're interacting with. It's gonna affect the people around them and the people around them.
Now think about this. I've recently seen a video and a scientist got the very, very small domino. I mean, this domino was the size of my fingernail on my index finger. And then he had it go up by 1.5 times in size each time. And the final domino was double the size of a concrete slab on your front driveway. The one that's, imagine, size of fingernail, going up 1.5 inches in size to a domino that's as big as a slab of concrete. So if we thought about our actions, so for example, saying Alhamdulillah after someone sneezes, holding the door open for someone, let's say that goes in size 1.5 times. The final one being someone donating a huge sum of money to charity because someone else had opened the door for the first person. One by one, it gets bigger and bigger, inshallah. Okay, Sully A, how would you think? What would be your number one tip for someone to be more grateful, to learn how to be more grateful?
Yeah, so my number one tip to be more grateful is I've covered it before earlier on, but I'm going to say it again because it is a very valuable idea, basically, ideology.
Give us a step by step.
So, a step by step.
Go on.
Alright, okay, so in order for you to be more grateful, you got to first look at what you have, look at how you got it, and think about how your life would be without those things around you. So the food you have, the roof over your head, the family, the friends, the education, the car, etc., etc. Think about each individual thing and imagine a life without one of them. Take away another one, and you see slowly how massive of an impact those things will have in your life, even if it's the smallest of things, like things that we don't even think about, like bread, or things that are so valuable to us but we don't think about, like our eyesight. Like me, if I don't have my glasses on, I won't be able to see your facial features.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I have an appreciation for my eyesight every day because when I wake up I'm not wearing my glasses and I know. But for people who don't experience that, who have that 20/20 vision, how often will they be thinking or being grateful or thanking Allah for their eyesight?
Of course. I remember you mentioned that in a previous video about gratefulness as well. You were saying if you were to count all your blessings, you would never stop.
Yeah, so in the Quran, Allah mentions that if we as humans were to count every single blessing, every single blessing that we have in our life, if we were to count from now, we would never reach that number. We would die before we reach that number, because if you think about it, like you have to thank Allah for every single breath you're having. You'll be saying Alhamdulillah every single second of your life. So it's impossible for us to be fully grateful for the blessings we've been given, which is why we have to spend our lives, serving the purpose of Allah and always showing that gratitude, saying Alhamdulillah and thanking Him for all the blessings He's blessed us with.
Put into perspective, on average, how many breaths a day do you think we take? I'm saying at least 100,000. Let's just say it's 100,000 breaths a day, right? I'm gonna pull out a calculator now. I'm not good at maths off the top of my head, but let's say you take 100,000 breaths a day.
It's way more than that.
I'm going on average right now. So you got 100,000 breaths a day. You live 365 days a year times 365. That's 36,500,000. Now let's times about how many days, or how many years I've lived. Yeah, so times by 21. 766,500,000 alhamdulillahs. If people can appreciate that we've not even said more than 100,000 probably in our life so far, and I'm only 21, I still owe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala 76 400,000, alhamdulillah.
Just in that aspect, just in the breathing aspect. What about all the other blessings that we
Every single step you take,
Subhanallah.
every single blink, every single time you open your
We've got
mouth.
our first question by Hamza_Ahmed100. He asks, if you show gratefulness towards someone but they don't show it back, what's the best thing a person can do?
Kindness. Kindness is always the answer for me.
Kill him with kindness?
Kill him with kindness.
Yeah.
Not kill him, but
I think just thanking the person back, giving them the opportunity to help them.
yeah,
That will make them then, in aspect, think about
yeah.
maybe I should thank the person.
That's why kindness is actually so powerful. So if you were to do an act of kindness to someone and they didn't show gratitude, and you turned around and you show them, like you show them and you say, imagine you do something nice for someone and they don't thank you, and you say, oh, nice to meet you, I'll see you again next time, and you still keep that positive vibe. When they're walking away, they'll be feeling, oh crap, I didn't
No,
say.
they'll feel better.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. They'll feel bad for not thanking you, and when they see you next time, they will have that gratitude. Or when they meet someone else, they'll show that gratitude to them.
Inshallah, let's hope that happens. Let's make these waves, man. Let's make these waves.
I think we have an example of showing appreciation as ways of positivity ourselves. That's something I forgot to mention earlier. What about Instagram? Well, what did we discuss once upon a time? We said we're not so bothered about the quantity. We're not so bothered about the numbers of likes and the number of views. What we more sort of concentrate on? We're concentrating on the quality. Because alhamdulillah, when someone messages us and says that video you posted the other day has helped me in this aspect, this part of my life positively, don't you just feel relieved? Like alhamdulillah, I've actually had such a good impact on someone's life. Even if it's the littlest of things, even if it's so small, at the end of the day, you've had a positive impact on someone's life, and they're going to thank you for that, and you'll get blessings for that, inshallah.
Inshallah. I think that's one thing I got mentioned actually about our generation. Shall I call it generation?
Yeah, our generation.
Generation X, Generation Z, whatever we class as
Millennials.
the millennials. I would say our number one issue is people feeling grateful for having us, and it is the number one key thing that is behind people then reflecting with the bad actions. It's all started in that domino effect. You didn't appreciate me, I'm going to stop showing appreciation to you. And you're not feeling appreciated by that one person who's probably feeling appreciated by you. You're moving on to the next and the next. And it's now become where everyone feels like, I don't need to be grateful because no one's grateful for me.
I see that a lot on Twitter. Twitter is I see that almost every day. Why would you compromise your character, your good habits, because of someone else's actions? Why?
But the thing is, though, we all have done it in our lives.
Yeah, we have. We're all guilty.
We have all done it.
Yeah.
Just because one person does something, we've all stopped. And I feel like by starting one by one, being more grateful, saying thank you to someone, sending a message to your mother saying thank you so much for all the hard work you've done for me, sending a message to your friend for all the hard work they've done for you.
Even if it's something that they've done a long time ago.
Yeah.
Thank them now.
I want to take this moment to thank you, Mum and Dad, for everything. I don't say it enough, innit?
Yeah, no, we don't. Let's hope they're listening in and they appreciate that. So when you go back home, you have some dates and some
nice areas. They have that ugly ready, innit?
And I hope my mum's listening. I did tell her to listen. I don't know whether she's fallen asleep, but Mum, thank you very much for everything you have done. I just want to take my time out to thank Radio FM or EAVA FM for allowing us this opportunity. And inshallah, we can always be appreciative of having a radio station in our city, because many cities do not have Islamic radio station. And for them to put the likes of us, who are only 20, 21 years old, up onto a radio station to actually share our own positive waves, that's a big thing we've got to be grateful for, because if we lived in a city like London or Manchester or Birmingham, it would have been very difficult for us to have this opportunity. And Leicester is so grateful for having this Muslim community.
Good community.
It's the reason why my parents moved to the city. Originally, we came from a town called Gloucester, and we moved to Leicester for Deen, and alhamdulillah, Deen is prospering.
Alright, so someone has sent a text saying, Satan said, then I will certainly come to them from before them and from behind them, and from the right hand side and from the left hand side, and you, Allah, shall not find most of them thankful.
Subhanallah.
Wow. So that just proves that, a lot of us are ungrateful. It's not even us saying it. it's been said that, you know, as humans, we are just ungrateful naturally. So we have to make an effort in order to bring that gratitude into our lives.
Especially in this month of Ramadan, the
Yes.
month of change.
It's not something that you can bring into your life overnight or in a matter of a second. It's something that you have to work on slowly. Think about each aspect of your life, each blessing, and inshallah, hopefully, that level of gratitude will come in your life, and you will see that drastic, that massive, that positive change in your life.
I mean, and if you're not being grateful, like you said, it is by the act of shaitan. And as a Muslim, you not want to be associated with shaitan. You want to be associated with, as a believer. You want to be remembered as a believer. So being ungrateful is actually the act of someone who's not of deen. From that perspective, subhanAllah.
Yeah. So at the end of this, we hope that everyone walks away with some kind of value and hopefully works towards getting that level, getting a higher level of gratitude, obviously us included, because you can never, I believe that we can never attain that level of gratitude that we should have, but we should always work towards getting the highest level possible as human beings.
I also hope that from listening to this, all of us do aspire to complete a good action from the goodness of your heart, not by expecting something back, and also thanking those around you on a regular basis. And also wake up in the morning, think about all that you have to be grateful for. Thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Before you eat, pray the dua. Before you sleep, pray the dua. When you wake up, pray the dua. When you finish eating, pray the dua. And you will find some more peace enter your hearts, and you'll find that you'd want to aspire to do more good actions.
I'd say never let a day pass where you don't count your blessings. At least 3 times a day. Count 3 blessings, 3 different blessings, 3 times a day. 3 times in the morning, 3 times in the afternoon, 3 times in the evening, and you'll see how good your day goes, inshallah.
Even that, think about all the good things that happen to you on that same day. So think about, that text message I received from my boss thanking me for doing a good job. The text message I received from my friend for doing a kind action for them. The text message, not even text message, the phone call from my brother, my sister, my cousin, someone remembering me. Maybe even a good act that has come towards you from someone close to you. Someone doing a good action for you, that's another good blessing.
We've got a few texts coming in now. Alright, so we have the first one saying, I am a huge believer in gratitude and how it can change your mindset, etc. How do you guys express gratitude besides saying thank you? Any daily rituals? That was from our good friend Mishka, actually. That's something we just said. Sully said a very good point about counting your blessings. 3 different blessings, 3 times a day, which I think can definitely bring that gratitude into your life. And Adil said, thanking Allah before and after every single action we basically do, before eating, drinking, etc.
Actually got a really, really good one. So she always wakes up in the morning and gives money to charity to appreciate the wealth she has. I think that would be another good daily. That's just a daily habit my mum's got.
It's self-reflection at the end of the day. We have another question. Do you believe gratitude is a habit to be practiced, or is it something that comes naturally? That's a really good question.
Okay, so
that's a really, really good question.
I don't think gratitude comes naturally. I think naturally our generation is inclined to be greedy and complainful. I think our generation is like that.
So I'm gonna switch that up on you, because remember from my start, when I talked about human beings naturally want to be appreciated.
Yeah, there's a difference though. Human beings want to be appreciated, but are they appreciative?
That all happens depending on what they're reciprocating. As I said, it's all by actions. Now, if I did something to hurt you or offend you, out of the goodness of your heart, you would feel offended. From the goodness in your heart, you would feel offended by my action. Now, that reflecting back on you will make you not want to do something good for me. It is by actions how people are grateful. So you'll be grateful to your mother. You always will, because naturally from birth, you have so much to be grateful to her for. But if it was a friend who did an action to you, you would not be as grateful because they have offended you. It all works in human natural instincts or reactions. Just to remind you, it's Ramadan special on EAVA FM 102.5, and someone messaged in.
Quick plug, quick promo.
Salams, what is Creators Collaborative?
You got 1 minute to promo, bro.
Okay, the Creators Collaborative is on Instagram. We are looking to get creatives or creative people on social media who would like to work together and create a network. This is all in terms of being grateful for the network you have. And
we've got one more person here. Good to see you brothers prospering, mashallah. Grateful for you and your project. Jazakallah khair for your
We
kind
are
words.
grateful for all of you guys listening. We are grateful for all of your texts that have come in.
Do check us out on Instagram. That's where we post mainly every Sunday and 3 times a week. We post everything about positivity and removing negative habits in your life. Inshallah, give us a follow and like us on Facebook as well at Waves of Positivity Official.
also go check out Ramadan.fm on Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. Go leave them a few likes, comment why you're grateful for having Ramadan.fm. Like I said, it is not likely to have people in your city who have taken their time out to actually have a radio station all for Islam, reminding you of your deen. So also streaming Instagram next week with a Ramadan special on EAVA 102.5 FM and Ramadan FM on Facebook. Jazakallah khairan for coming on and listening to us. And please do let us know on our Instagram how we can improve our next one or how you found this one and how it helped you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.